to That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. Hey, it's Brian. Damn, I missed you guys. I don't know if you missed me, but I missed you guys. I want to say a big shout out to Joe and Jason, especially for holding down the fort these past couple weeks. Kevin, he didn't care enough to be here, so thanks anyway. But hell yeah, guys, great job these past 2 weeks. I'm welcome back at least, though. I can be part of all the fun again.
Well, the crazy thing is I wasn't even supposed to be here.
Yes.
But I am now known. I have a new nickname. I am the algorithm. I am the
terrible
reason.
Nickname.
But it's a great nickname. I'm the algorithm. I'm what makes things happen. And I had to be here.
I prefer King of New York, but yeah.
Well, I'm that too. You can have multiple nicknames.
Yeah.
That's what rappers do. I am looking at this outline of tonight's show. Another reason why I wanted to be here. We have been at this for 4 years and 2 days.
Yeah.
We hit the 4-year anniversary, April 2nd, which was, what was that? Tuesday or Wednesday, I mean.
Wednesday, yep.
And over 4 years, over 200 episodes, never missed a week. And people think I'm ridiculous when I post that. That's a big deal. You know, the thing with podcasts, you have to be consistent. You have to be every week. And a lot of podcasts fizzle out because they can't be here every week. Now, the good thing is, with 4 of us, there's always some sort of combination that can work.
Yeah.
Unless it's Joe and Kevin, and then it can't work.
That's
right.
That's the only one that hasn't happened yet.
Well, you jerks won't give us the password to do the show.
You got to earn it.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, so as I mean, not that this is just my thing, but this was my brainchild and you know, all of this, and I want to thank you guys and even Kevin, wherever the hell he is. That you know, thank you guys for everything, even you, Joe. You know, it's 2025. It was posted on socials the other day that we are actually friends. Brian didn't. He thought it was an April Fool's joke. Like, I don't know. But we are here.
You chose a strange day to post that, though, so I didn't buy it either.
It's a new day. It's a new me. I am the algorithm.
There's a new look this week.
Yeah.
No hat.
No hat this week. It's crazy.
Yes. Last week it was frontwards. This week, no hat.
And
he's versatile.
And I don't normally drink pounders of beer, but I'm at the sanitation convention out of state, and it's been a long day. So I got 2 pounders at the gas station and a phone cord because I forgot my charger. So.
Oh, no. Well, you've earned your Yinglings, it sounds like. So yeah, cheers to 4 years. Cheers
to 4 years. Okay.
Yeah. When it became apparent to you that it was this week, I mean, it doesn't feel like 4 years.
No.
Like if you would have told me, you know, we've been at this for 2 years and 9 months, I go, that sounds about right. It's been a while, but it also hasn't been that long. And that's probably a good thing. That means like we're all having fun with it. And like you said, we're consistent. So that's pretty wild when you look back at it like that.
You know, a guy told me by the name of Bill Price, he came into my office one day and he said, you know, Jason, the years are, or the days are long, but the years are short.
Yeah.
And when he told me that, it blew my mind. It was like a Yoda moment. Like, I just could not believe I had never heard that before. Yeah. And it makes so much sense. And it's true. You know, it was literally felt like yesterday when we were at Brian's for All Outside.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was 3.5 years ago.
Great selection of the pictures, too, that we posted, Jay.
I went through my phone of what I had. A lot of those are the ones that I have framed, and they'll be put up in the office eventually. But, like, yeah, there was those. I don't know if he listens. Hopefully, if he does and he's not angry. I photoshopped Ken out of one. But it was such a great Photoshop, you didn't even know.
I wouldn't know. I know where to look now.
I'm not going to say which one it is.
Yeah.
I can guess. I mean, there's been a handful of times Ken's been with us.
But which one? Which of the photos from Detroit was the one?
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
That's
the thing. Yeah.
Tin roof, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I love Barbara Ryan's comment too. He's like, every picture you have a new look, Jay, and you were great too. You're like, I'm the Jericho of the podcast or whatever.
Evolution
Reinvented.
is a mystery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it?
I do.
Evolution is a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Evolution.
Shout out to
Like
Lemmy.
the theme song. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's great, guys.
Brian, you've been all around the world in the last couple of weeks. Have you watched any wrestling? Are you caught up to host a podcast of this nature?
I'm caught up enough, at least with Monday Night Raw, especially because, now that the European tour is over, but the flexibility of the Netflix time being on at like 3 in the afternoon,
I love it.
4 in the afternoon, you can throw
I don't
it
want it
on
to go
whenever
back
you
to
want. Yeah,
I watched Raw live. I was off this past Monday. I watched it at 3:00, or I was maybe like 20 minutes late, but even 20 minutes late, no ads.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So I've been good on that at the very complete, and everything else I've kind of just been dipping my toes in, I'd say.
Yeah. So let's get into Raw.
Yeah. Yeah. This is week 3 of John Cena and the heel run, and you guys talked about it. Obviously, we had the first Cena promo. What's that?
Under the same roof.
Oh yes, third time in a row under the same roof. And the first time was the Cena big promo explanation. Second time Cody came out to do a little bit of jabbering, but not much. But this was the head-to-head. This was Cody cutting him off from the beginning and said, "You've talked enough. I'm talking." And they went back and forth, and it was haymaker after haymaker. And the discourse after from everybody was, who won? Who won? Because they both were throwing bombs. Jay, who do you think won, man?
John Cena.
Mm.
I've said all along, Cody's being protected because he can't keep up with Cena. And this proved it. Cena won round 3. He's going to win the title. And I hope all of you pick Cody to win, because I will not. And then if you thought I was bad with Roman beating Cody at 39 and Gunther losing to Sammy, because I picked that one too, you have no idea what's coming your way. When John Cena wins the 17th title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
was there any line or two in particular that stood out to you that you were like, Cena, hell yeah?
I'm here to bury people. My favorite line of the whole thing. Because that's been this thing they've said about him the whole time. He's just here to bury people. I loved it. And I know a lot of people didn't. It's like insider terms. Fuck off.
I loved it.
Get the fuck out of here.
There's so many insider terms. Not
insider terms anymore.
Yeah.
Because every fan thinks they're on the inside and they're not. Fucking losers.
The line was, I don't bury talent, I bury mediocrity.
Yeah.
and then it got you thinking. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like who he buried.
Yeah.
Would they have been main eventers?
Who did
what
he
did
bury?
they do?
Rusev.
The
Nexus.
The Nexus is the big one.
Those are probably the two biggest ones.
And the Nexus was the biggest one I thought of. And then you look back at every single member of that team. And the only one who had a shot was Barrett. Like, think about it. You had what? Skip Sheffield, Ryback, Heath Slater,
Darren Young.
Nothing wrong with that. Darren
Young. Technically, then he buried Bray Wyatt twice.
No, I don't think so, because I think.
Was he in the group then?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't in.
He was the new Nexus.
He was in the second Nexus.
Yeah, you could say Bray. I could say that. But Bray, you know what? But Bray got him back in that Firefly Funhouse match during the pandemic.
Bray at WrestleMania 30, yes, but he didn't bury him because Bray. It's sad to say he picked himself up. He got resurrected because he got it back with the Firefly Funhouse, and that's proof that he doesn't bury talent. he buries mediocrity.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of Bray too, and I'm like, nope, he didn't. If Bray would have done nothing afterwards, then yes.
I love too because we've said Wade Barrett. I think he was on commentary on Raw, and I think he posted on his ex Twitter like a guy sweating with that line of like, "I bury mediocrity." Like, oh shit, that's amazing. Joe, who do you think won?
See, I don't think it was a knockout like Jason's saying. I thought it was close because Cody had some lines too. You're saying that I'm protected. Who picked you? Someone we're not even allowed to talk about anymore. and the knockout blow that he gave was they've never chanted, "You can't wrestle to me." That was good. You have to admit that. Like Cena had some good lines. The one about I bury mediocrity was awesome. And of course, I build empires for billionaires.
Oh.
You just take money from their kids.
So, Brian, you did not think that was Tony Khan?
I didn't. Yeah, and because I started seeing the discourse about it.
Brian, when I saw you tweet that, I was just like, dude, I got some swampland in Florida you may be interested in buying.
I guess I just thought, okay, he came back, and as now he's champion with Triple H and by proxy Stephanie. They're the kids of Vince. Yeah. So I guess I wasn't thinking it, but it does make sense that he was referencing Tony Khan. But yeah, I took it a completely different way.
But who flew to his house to give him everything he wanted and let him keep his American Nightmare name? It was Vince.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that was a Tony Khan. That was a Tony Khan line. I'm considering it a draw.
Okay. I almost went there too.
Because they both had some really good lines.
Yeah.
Sidebar.
I considered it a draw.
Sidebar.
Yes.
He wasn't allowed to have American Nightmare. What do you think that Vince would have let him be?
How's that Stardust outfit fit, pal?
How about the American Star?
Yeah. Who knows?
Frosty McFreeze.
Yeah. I don't know.
He would have just been Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Yeah. I also go ahead, Jay.
Could have been slashing Cody Rhodes and carried a knife.
Yeah, yes. A evil dark.
Yes.
Dashing. I gave it to Cena too.
Not dashing. Slashing.
The Dynamite Dream. That's what they would have called
Dynamite
it.
Dream.
Dynamite Dream.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or is that too inside for you?
Yeah.
Or maybe they could have just let him become Goldust.
Fake Goldust.
Yes. Old Dust.
Old Dust.
I gave it to Cena, but I went back and forth on it a bunch. I probably watched this like 3 or 4 times because I was like, God damn, this is so good. I loved Cody channeling B Rabbit and 8 Mile of saying like, I'm gonna say all the things you're gonna say to me. Now I've got a lisp. I was Stardust. I
didn't like the suit. I didn't like fat pinstripes. Not a fat pinstripe kind of guy.
Yeah.
It looked very cartoony to me.
It was a little much.
Yeah.
Loved his line about creating a lot of disenfranchised fans who made it easy for me to pack up and go elsewhere.
Yep.
Joe, you said about the who chose you line. That was great.
I thought the best line was no one's ever chanted "You can't wrestle to me."
Yeah, that was a great one to end it on.
Do we think Cena? Well, we're out of time for Cena on Raw, but I was wondering if we'd ever get Cena to be like, "Fuck Dusty Rhodes" or something very disrespectful there.
Yeah, but he went after him, man. I mean,
it was good. It was what we needed, and
yeah, it was
finally some physicality.
Yes, yeah, that too.
So Cody getting the 1-up on Cena obviously means Cena's going to win at WrestleMania.
That's the tried and true way, right?
But not everything's the same anymore.
Yeah. The other Cena line I loved. Cody, you're so into yourself. You got your wrestling gimmick tattooed for the world to see.
And he called him his chauffeur.
Yeah, chauffeur. That was great. what was it? You went from undeniable to underwhelming, something like that. So
Sounds like
I'm under your vibe, Joe, of like if this was boxing, this was a 12 round fight that went to a decision and two judges had it Cena and one had it Cody or had it a draw or something. But
it wasn't unanimous.
No, but Cena was, you know, you hate to do what's the top 5 talkers of all time, but he's got to be in that conversation. You can't not disclude him from that because guy's incredible, man. Absolutely incredible on the mic. Isn't that weird though? Like you said, Jay, like he's not scheduled for any more Raw or anything. Like, are we really going another
2 weeks?
2.5 weeks of nothing with like video packages?
2 Raws and 2 SmackDowns.
Yeah.
Well, they got to build the rest of the card.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, still though, like I don't know. I guess we'll see. But it was a hell of a way to end it. For sure. The other big development was the Gunther Jimmy Uso match, which someone in the Right Ears room has seen Rocky IV. That was
shot by shot.
Yes, exactly. Shot by shot. Even the little interaction in the back of Jay like finally go like, hey, take this guy seriously, sort of thing, just like Rocky does to Apollo in Rocky IV. And it did what it did. We got Jimmy bleeding. We got a zip tied rope, Jay to the rope.
So I was talking to a guy at work about that. Because they were in some other country, do we think that's they went zip tie because that's what like the authorities would use in that? I don't remember where
I think so.
They were in London.
London, yeah.
They probably it was. Do they not use handcuffs in that country? Maybe that's why they went zip tie.
Well, they don't carry guns.
That too.
So maybe they don't have. Yeah.
I mean, if Gunther was packing, that would have been kind of fun.
We're getting raw all over the place here. I mean, but yeah, when I saw the zip ties, I was like, okay, that's legit. Like you zip tie something, you can't like break it. Really, it's extremely difficult. So it made it legit to me. Does it work for you guys? I think we've shifted away from the all the yeet thing to we had the 2 weeks of Jay kind of having botches, right? I'm not convinced. The first one might have been the botch legitimately of him trying to dive over the ropes
and get caught up because he's fat.
Who said that?
I heard him say that.
Kevin Nash said that Jay's putting on some weight because of the pressure of what he's dealing with right now.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Respect the Hall of Famer, but I don't know. But the one last week where he like slipped trying to do a spear, I'm like, okay, now this is a story, and now Jay just witnessed his brother get his ass kicked, and we're building.
That trip was as convincing as a 4th grader trying to limp his way out of a gym class. That's how bad that slip was.
Yeah, how bad is that line you just delivered?
No, that line is perfect.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So, what's your temperature on this feud, guys? Because it took a more serious turn this past week or so.
It needed it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the insertion of the brother. I think that obviously Jay's going to win at WrestleMania, but it was good. I'm here for it. I just don't know what we do with Gunther after Mania if he loses, much like last year. We didn't know what to do. Luckily, he got into the title picture, won King of the Ring, and all that stuff, which led to the shot at SummerSlam, which got him the title. So, but I mean, we've said it a bunch of times on this show. His title reign is getting boring. It's underwhelming. It's not as exciting as it used to be. So maybe he needs a rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
Joe.
what that is.
Yeah, your thoughts on this segment? Were you pointing at your TV going Rocky IV, Rocky IV?
Yep, I had the song in my head too. I was like, "There's no easy way." I was like, hitting the car, whatever. Yes,
yeah.
I played
greatest
all that.
Soundtrack ever. Greatest soundtrack for Rocky
second greatest, Purple Rain. But then it turned into it definitely, I agree with Jason. This needed something like this. It turned into a blood feud, and man, did Gunther have so much on him. And when he licked it, that was gross. I'm sorry, that's just gross.
Oh,
gross. That was
so
gross.
good.
But you need him to be the ultimate villain for this.
A Bond villain.
The Bond, like, just evil in every single way. No redeeming quality whatsoever, and he knows how good he is. So that was helpful. Now, when you say
Bond, I expect you to die. That's the Gunther we need.
What happens afterwards? Isn't there a draft coming up? Don't you think he needs to go to SmackDown and go after Cody, since Cody gave him his loss?
Well, John Cena will win the title,
but it doesn't matter. He can be out of the title picture, but still in the main event picture.
Well, I mean, King of the Ring's coming, and the winner gets a title shot at SummerSlam. So
yeah, but that's just redoing the same thing.
Doesn't mean he's going to win, but I mean, I think that having him in it is definitely adding to that tournament, and that's what they need. And they've got so many good people now that can be in this tournament to build a new, whether it's Braun Breaker, whether it's Penta, Rey Fenix is supposed to debut tonight on SmackDown if you're watching on Friday.
Right.
It could be anybody. Miro's allegedly coming back, which we'll get into later. Bri, you've been out for a while, but we've been talking about WrestleMania and the tickets and the money and what WWE is doing, where all of their prices are literally like Super Bowl prices. And it's hard for a lot of people to get these tickets. And I wasn't going to go till I was able to get tickets with no fees through a contact at WWE. I still paid for my tickets, and I'm sitting with the Poors up in 400. But
yes, I heard.
At least I will be in the building for it.
Mm-hmm.
But is it really the Poors with as much money they're paying for it?
Poors is relative in terms.
For WrestleMania, can we say that you're not sitting with the Poors, you're sitting with the mids?
I will say, I don't know, because this is the first time I've sat that high for anything in 15 years. Wrestling, concerts, games, anything.
Right.
Didn't Kevin ask if you're going to bring binoculars?
Yes. He did, and I will not. Allegiant Stadium has a huge-ass screen.
Right.
So I'll be good.
Yeah. No, that's fine. And that's the thing, too. It'd be one thing maybe if it was one night. It's 2 nights. Mm-hmm. So you're showing out a lot of money twice, and that's I get it.
I'm in the same seat both nights.
Gotcha.
So
nice.
I just want to be there. This will probably be the last Mania for a while, much like it's the last Jericho Cruise for a while. Mm-hmm. And I just want to be there. There's John Cena of it all, and Vegas
last one.
And
I'm sure probably next week. I know I'll want to talk to you about, because there's so much stuff with Mania week, and it seems like even this year there's more than ever with all those after parties that they have, and the Hall of Fames and WrestleCons and the world. There's so much.
So as of today, now, I fly Thursday morning. My friends are hosting. They have a promotion, Winter Circle Pro Wrestling, out of LA or Chino, California. They're doing a show in Vegas at 4:30. I have tickets to TNA that night at 7. The next day, Friday, we're going to the World, possibly the Wrestle for Sale Cheap Heat thing that's happening on Friday afternoon. Then SmackDown, potentially the Hall of Fame. I'm waiting to hear on that. And then Saturday or Sunday is WrestleCon.
Yep.
Then WrestleMania. I'm not doing nightclubs. I'm not going to live
Gronk's party.
I'm not going to Gronk's party. I'm not going to hang out with R-Truth at Circus because he's a clown and that's where he belongs. There's so much going on that I'm not even close to doing.
Right.
There's a GCW, there's a Bloodsport, there's all these things.
Yeah.
Live podcasts, live shows,
Busted Open. Yeah. Oh my God. It's insane.
Excited that I'm getting to go. And honestly, if it wasn't Easter, I would have had you guys all to my house again.
Yeah.
That was the original
idea. Yeah.
But when it became Easter, because 2 of you have kids, Joe thinks the Easter Bunny is still real, so he has to be home.
Hey,
confirmed.
Spoiler. This is a no spoiler show.
It is.
Confirmed.
I've
Well,
made that my goal. No spoilers, but whatever.
we all make mistakes, but
Yeah, so there's a lot
yeah.
going on in WrestleMania week, and I'm gonna try to, do some stuff.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned the Hall of Fame, Jay. So they announced something new
Yeah,
this year where they're going to be inducting matches. And this is taken from the TKO UFC
right.
model. They've been doing that for a couple of years where they induct fights into their Hall of Fame. So, of course, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart at Mania 13. Very cool that they'll both be there to accept this. Do you guys like this idea first off? Now that we're getting into now we're going to do matches. What Joe, I won't go to you first cuz
Yeah,
Jay, at least you know about this with the UFC.
yeah. And I've got
I like the idea, especially the one that they chose, because that was the match that actually got me back into wrestling. Because I missed all the new generation, because I just was like, no, I'm not into it anymore. Too cartoony.
Yeah.
But friends of mine were like, dude, we're watching WrestleMania, and I watched it, and that was the match. I'm like, holy crap, that was like real. So it was the first time I was like, I got to watch Raw the next night. So that is definitely a if it's going to be the first one, that has to be the first one.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it, but my rule of thumb should be it should only be WrestleMania matches.
Okay.
No other.
Okay.
Sorry, King
That's
of the
good.
Ring
That is a
matches.
great idea. And honestly, Joe, until you said that, I thought it was just WrestleMania matches.
It should only be WrestleMania matches.
We don't know. Maybe it will be.
We don't know. It's the first one, so. But I don't want it. Like, sorry, King of the Ring '98 Hell in a Cell, great match, but you're not WrestleMania.
All
Shawn
right.
versus Triple H at SummerSlam '02. That was nice, but it was unsanctioned, so it didn't count anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Still real to me. But yeah,
Love that.
WrestleMania only.
Jay, your thoughts too, again, because you know that UFC does this.
Yeah, UFC's been doing it for a few years now.
Yeah.
What I don't know how dumb it's going to sound, but like I have a hard time calling the fighters involved, some of them, Hall of Famers. Like, I think Robbie Lawler and Rory McDonald is in the UFC Hall of Fame, and it was an insane fight. Lawler's lip got cut open, Rory's eyebrow got ripped off. It was just a great fight. But I don't consider Rory McDonald or Robbie Lawler a Hall of Fame fighter. So, like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense when I say those type of things. Obviously, this one, Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, yeah.
Yeah.
Do they need to be labeled as 4-time Hall of Famers or whatever the fuck they're going to be? Like, I don't know about that.
Right.
Because then it's going to be a 17-time Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
Bret Hart, because this will be his like fourth nominee or fourth recognition, I think. Third, maybe, but like, I don't know if we need all that. The match is cool, but this doesn't add to the person how many times they're a Hall of Famer, if that makes sense.
Maybe it does, because if it wasn't for a match like that, he wouldn't be a Hall of Famer, right? You know, like that's your resume to make you a Hall of Famer. I'm Bret the Hitman Hart. I'm a Hall of Famer because of matches like that. So it shouldn't be an additional, I'm another Hall of Famer.
Okay, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
They're not getting another ring because their match got nominated, but I'm hoping that's not the case.
Yeah.
But I have a couple matches that I think should be Hall of Fame contenders in the future.
Yes.
From WrestleMania 21, the year is 2005. The first Money in the Bank match.
It's fair.
And he won, and it led to his eventual cashing in on John Cena at New Year's Revolution.
Mm-hmm. Good one.
I have Brock versus Roman, WrestleMania 31, where Seth cashes in.
Mm-hmm.
Not also, from WrestleMania 3, I think it was 3, it might have been 4. A very underrated match. And I want to say it, but I want you to watch it after you watch this podcast because it is a great match. So guys like Matt Young, CJ, I'm just trying to think of other friends that I know watch this. Watch the match: Roddy Piper versus Adrian Adonis.
Oh, that was 3.
3, I want to say. Yeah.
That was
it
3? Yeah, because Piper took a hiatus until 5 when he
When
came back
was
for Morton
Indy?
Downey Jr.
When was Indianapolis?
Indianapolis was WrestleMania 8.
8. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he took a year off for 4 because he was filming They Live.
Well, Piper and Adonis from whatever WrestleMania that was from, that was a great match. Go watch it, and then you can tell me to fuck off if you think I'm wrong, but I'm not, because I'm the algorithm and I make things happen. And then finally, of course, Hogan Andre Mania 3.
Sure. I got
Stop that, Joe. You
All
won't.
right, I'll tout
You
that.
won't.
I will.
Go ahead, buddy.
You won't.
Okay, from WrestleMania 3, Savage and Steamboat.
A classic, of course.
That is a classic.
Yep.
Give me a
It's a great
don't
match. It's so predictable, Joe. You're so predictable.
But I wasn't even going to mention it. But you mentioned 2 matches from WrestleMania 3. You don't mention the best match from WrestleMania 3. Come on.
So predictable.
From
What are you gonna say?
WrestleMania 25, the one that Brian jumped off his stool at B-Dubs like he was on Maury Povich show, saying that you're not the father. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, their first WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
When Shawn kicked out of the tombstone and Undertaker had that look on his face, Brian was running around B-Dubs going, "Oh!"
No, you weren't.
I did a lap
Yes, he
around
was.
the
Yes.
restaurant. Yeah.
Yes, he did. He went, Shawn kicked out. Oh,
I did a lap. Yeah.
He did a lap. Yes, that one.
Damn it! I wish we had camera phones. Then.
Right.
Yeah, another WrestleMania match would be. Oh, geez, there's like so many good ones, but I would have to say. Oh, see, now you got me mad, Jason. So I'm like, oh, you got to go with Shawn and Brett, the Iron Man match.
Okay. Mania 12.
Mania 12.
Yeah.
Those are if I had to. Oh, and then I was gonna say one, but I know Brian's gonna say it, so I'm not gonna say it. But if he doesn't say it, then I will. This was the one I was going to say, but since I know Brian wants to do this, so I don't want to take away his shine. But those are my 3. Top that.
You may have outsmarted yourself though, because I went a little bit more in Jay's direction of off the board. Okay.
No, we said Hall of Fame though. We can't just have matches like you should check them out. These are iconic matches that live on forever from generation to generation. That's what makes them Hall of Fame.
Then listen to the 2 that I have and tell me if it fits or not. Number 1, Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. You know that was the funniest goddamn match of all time. Jay, you were in the building for it.
I was there.
I can show that I've shown that match to 1 or 2 people who are not wrestling fans, and they like cried their eyes out. The match they put on, absolutely.
It was a real match.
It was probably better on TV than in real life. And the only reason I say that is because in being in the building, you can see when they're setting up the props, like the giant mouse trap and shit like that. But I mean, because of what it did for Sami Zayn, it proved that he's one of those guys that they can trust with anything and anybody, and it'd work.
And that match had no right to be as good as it was. Like, that was so goddamn entertaining. So I put that in. And my second one was Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell. So not going with Mania match. We'll go with the Hell in a Cell because, of course, Cody has... Well,
ineligible.
But
ineligible.
This is made before we enacted this imaginary rule.
Stigma to it.
Cody with the torn pec. I've never seen a visual like that of somebody having an injury and working a match. And the match was worked so well where they were still targeting that pec. So it wasn't like, oh, we got to tiptoe around this and, do an ankle lock, something that nothing. No, like the whole time Seth's taking like kendo sticks and like hitting him in the pec. It's so good. So good. So that would be my second one. So the verdict, Joe, outside of that not being a Mania match, would you say those 2 were Hall of Fame consideration worthy?
Close, I guess. I wouldn't say Cody versus Seth because it wasn't even the best match of the year. Gunther Sheamus was at Clash at the Castle. I'm not letting that one go.
Here we go.
So,
Here we go.
I'm not letting that one go. what's your third one? Because it's like, if not,
That's all I had. I just had those
Logan
two.
versus Rock at WrestleMania 18.
Of course, yeah. I like I said, I didn't want to go with the most. Yeah, that's my favorite match of all time. Of course, it goes.
That's
in,
why
right?
I didn't say it.
Yeah.
It was for you out
Yes.
of respect.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that because that's just the given. Like I said, I wanted to go a little more Jay's direction of not just saying the most obvious, like my favorite match ever. Like, yeah.
Well, make sure tune in next week when Kevin joins us with his 14 post-it notes full of matches, his top 20 matches that should be on there.
We won't be doing this bit next week. So
no, I know he'll want to. Kevin, say a couple next week.
Yeah,
put them on Twitter.
Just throw them out there. Yeah,
put them on Instagram.
That's true. That's
put it on socials.
So WWE, especially this last couple of weeks, a lot of mentions of AEW. We talked about it with the Cody Cena promo the other day. A couple of mentions of like Cody saying he left, Cena with the billionaire's kid, that sort of thing. Another one I noticed recently was NXT 2 weeks ago. Ricky Saints backstage promo with Shawn Spears, and Shawn saying, "Hey, you can always go back to the other." Oh, that's right. You burned those bridges. So there's been a lot, and I think people have taken notice. I saw on X that MJF had his opinion saying, "I truly don't get why fans get up in arms when WWE mentions or references AEW, or when AEW mentions or references WWE. If you want to be treated like children, watch Elmo, or better yet, tell VKM to start a new promotion." MJF not one to be shy with his opinion. Jay, when you see this happening, are you mostly cool with it? Does it make you roll your eyes a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, there's some definite eye rolling because I am a believer of, if you're number one, don't even mention number two.
There is that logic, yeah.
But it's new eras, new things. Now, I'm really okay with it if it's going to lead to something, but it's not going to. So I'm not really okay with it. I don't love it, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Joe?
I'm in the mindset of when Vince had his Attitude Era dawning promo, where it's like, let's stop treating people like it's like, they're wrestling fans are idiots. Basically, it's a new era, like Jason said too. You can say it. I mean, you forgot to mention that CM Punk said he works with children in a WWE promo as well.
Oh my God! I'm so glad you brought that up. When he was walking and Drew got thrown through the glass window, that was funny.
Yes. He just kind of did the stare a little bit, smiled, and kept walking.
Because when it happened, I'm like, oh, that's the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And Drew's tweet afterwards, it was real glass. It went in my eye. But no, it's like, I got to agree with MJF on this one. Say what you want to. I mean, I also don't think that if you're number one, you mention number two, but we're also not stupid. We know where they came from.
Yeah.
And get you digging at your former employer or just mentioning something from your past character, it doesn't knock them. It just means that you're still building up your brand.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with it at all.
And I think, so those are the examples that I enjoy and think it's fine when you're referencing something that actually happened or took place. So, like in the concept of Cena saying that to Cody about billionaire's kid, like, okay, that happened, right? Why I really kind of rolled my eyes at the Shawn Spears one was, we know that Ricky Saints, win or lose, is not going to go back to AEW. Like, we know that's not really a thing, so now you're just saying that for some sort of yuckity yuck. So I like it when, like, there's the actual acknowledgement of it. It's interesting, though, because you mentioned CM Punk, and, like, there's definitely not, like, AEW direct mentions with him so much. I guess maybe Seth has threw it at him a little bit in promos of, like, you went to the other place until they gave you the boot, so you came crawling back here. But you don't have a lot of direct stuff with that. He just did that Stephanie's Places. You guys talked about that, and it was like, hey, oh, you left, you went to UFC, you were gone for a while, and you came back. So
Yeah,
I
he
don't know.
kind
Maybe
of
there's
forgot
time and
some
place
stuff,
for it all.
but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they said this. They said the same thing about Sting too. It's like, okay, you left WCW and then nothing happened,
Yeah.
and now you finally made it to the big time.
Right. So that's where that insulting your intelligence MJF line, I think, fits that. It's like we all know, man. we're we're not dumb. We're not dummies. What's his name? I want to be respectful to the guy. Bishop Dyer, right? Is that the
oh,
new?
love that dude.
So he's new on Busted Open,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking about how on AEW, how Swerve was backstage and Renee was going after him, and Swerve said, "I'm looking for your husband." And he was like, thank you for doing that. Like, I'm looking for Moxley. It's like, we all know Renee and Moxley are married. Like, don't treat us like idiots. We know what's going on. More of that, I think, is a good thing. Let's do some quick thoughts here, guys. Some maybe some comings and goings in the wrestling world. Karrion Kross contract coming up. I haven't seen when. But presumably sometime in 2025. Jay, you've been a big Cross fan for a long time. How do you kind of see like where he fits right now, and maybe what would be best for him?
Well, for what I want him to be there, and I want him to be there because he's great. But these little backstage things where he's trying to be the devil on the shoulder of everybody, it's only going to go so far. But this guy can go. He can work. I don't know. If the rumors of Aleister Black coming back, maybe we put those two together.
I like that idea.
In a tandem or even against each other. Like, they got to let Cross work. They got to let the guy work. If he goes away, look, he would be great in Japan. He has history in Impact, but what are we going to do with him in AEW?
Yeah.
Nothing. Realistically, what are we going to do with him if they go to AEW?
Yeah. I think he finally found something really good on the main roster with the whole like Miz kind of being held hostage.
Yes.
And then they ended up getting rid of the Authors of Pain, and that kind of went away. And so he's still hanging around, but it's like, there has to be more there. But I thought he was building something with that. Joe, what your Cross thoughts? That rhymes.
I hope he stays. I really do. He would do nothing in AEW. Nothing. Yeah. He'd be on a Collision, and then we wouldn't see him for a couple months, and then he'd be on again, and then nothing else. He's too talented to not be in the biggest promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And we just got to be patient with him. Not with him and his talent, but with the writers and the stories.
The fit, yeah.
The fit. Because I didn't like the Final Testament Author of the Pain. I didn't think that they did anything for him. Mm. I did, and then when he finally had something going on with Miz, they moved Miz to SmackDown,
right?
Which made sense because he would have became a kind of a comedy, a joke. So I'm like, I like that he can go with anybody,
and that's the thing.
Keep him in WWE.
We have not seen this guy work in WWE. Like, go Google some shit. He was in Lucha Underground. He was awesome. I feel like
he dominated NXT.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'll fucking say it. The greatest NXT champion of all time.
Wow.
Hard to argue.
Karrion Kross. The presentation, the work, everything. And the fact that he shaved his head willingly, much like I did.
I know.
And can grow that beautiful mane, much like I can.
Yeah. You guys have that in common, because when he started growing hair, people went, hey, wait a minute. Wait, all this time?
Yeah.
Like, dude.
I can do that.
It took me a while to get used to it. I was like, you should be bald again, bro. Like, that was your look. And now it's kind of, I think he's figured it out a bit, but
I could have done that.
NXT Cross was a problem. Yeah, he was good.
I mean, the entire presentation of Cross in AEW or NXT
NXT, yeah,
was fucking amazing.
absolutely.
From the music to the song to Scarlet, and then they fucked up with, when they brought him to be like, a 300 character.
Yeah,
in the main roster.
Yeah, that was a really tough spot for that to happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was a bad time for him and War Eagle Lee. That was just like really bad.
Yeah. Ray Phoenix, he said it, Jay, debuting on SmackDown, at least he's supposed to be, according to the promos. Were you guys surprised he didn't like immediately come to the roster with Penta? Like, obviously, they're going to be on two different brands, two separate presentations. I'm a little surprised at that.
Well, the contract situation was obviously how Penta got out earlier than what Phoenix did. I think you let him run on SmackDown for a little bit, and then there's the draft. That's how you get them on the same page. So I think it's going to happen sooner or later, but it looks like Phoenix and Andrade are going to work because what's his name said, "Oh, I got something for you to work with," and I think it's going to be Phoenix and Andrade.
Well, that'll be a banger, yeah, that'll be good.
I was surprised, but it made sense because again, Penta got there first, and they built him up. You can't bring in Phoenix and be the Lucha Brothers when you've built up and the audience is buying Penta as a solo. So put them on separate brands and
because they mentioned I think they mentioned Phoenix like maybe on Raw, like Michael Cole, like, oh, his brother is coming on SmackDown,
and he said Lucha Brothers, Bros.
It's a very, like, again, talk about like transparency. We know these things. Like, that was a pure example of that I'm like, okay, he's his brother. You're gonna go to SmackDown, and maybe in the past it'd be he's on SmackDown, and then months later, like, you finally go, that's his brother. Who knows? Huh. Shocking.
What?
He's got a mask too.
What?
Like you.
What? And it came from the same nutsack.
Yeah, allegedly. Talk about your Maury Povich moment, Joe. Come on. Who's the father?
No, you have that one.
I do. And Rusev rumored to be re-signed. I think Rusev's AEW time. First off, you guys remember how shitty it started, where he was like wearing just like ugly ass clothes. Man. He was the gamer, the best man. I was like, oh fuck. And then they got into this like God's champion thing, and I was like, all right, we're getting somewhere. And he became more of a badass. And then he's just been kind of gone for, I don't know, over a year, it seems like. So how would you bring him back? Would you bring him back like him and Lana together? Heel face? What kind of ideas would you have for his return?
He's very funny. And I'm not saying bring him back as a comedic character, but I would have him be more entertaining than Bulgarian brute.
Okay.
I don't like the word brute. I think it's a dumb word.
Not used a lot, right?
No. Would you have him be more of an active wrestler, like, but with Carlito's type of character, as in he's on every week?
I would have him badass wrestler with a little bit of fun, like the thank you Chad Gable type.
Oh, okay.
Not blatant comedy, but just that's how I would go with it.
Well, Jay, you know what might fit that I actually didn't bring up. I mean, maybe there's an angle for Rusev Day.
Okay.
That was obviously another huge thing in his WWE past once he got rid of like the Bulgarian anti-American thing.
You'd have to bring back Aiden English too. He's the one who made it work.
Well, right, he was the singer. He's doing commentary on TNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe there's an angle there at some point. Yeah. So maybe that gets worked in somehow. Yeah. I don't know.
And he got re-signed on Rusev Day. But
And where does Lana fit in all this, if at all?
Nowhere.
Yeah, you're
No,
not
keep him
feeling
away.
it.
Keep him. No,
Okay.
it's been done. No, keep him away. Have Rusev be on his own. If you bring Lana with him, it's just a rehash, and he's going to be gone again. Keep Lana away from Rusev. I'm not saying she can't have a job. Different brands, keep them away from each other. Don't get them stuck into anything stupid. Actually, I am saying she can't have a job.
All right.
I want her.
Wait, there's enough unemployment
no,
problems in this country right now, Joe. Come on.
I don't
I'm
have
throwing
anything
the
against
flag.
her. I don't have anything against her. But if you're going to invest in him, you got to keep her away.
Wow. Joe, very anti-woman on this program this week.
Wow.
Oh, right. Okay.
We don't want women to work.
Go make me a sandwich.
Yeah. If she came back, you can't bring back like the accent. Like, again,
No, she's
we
got to
know.
be herself.
Yeah, be yourself. That's all.
But they brought her into AEW and it did nothing.
I know.
That's when he went away.
That was a disaster.
Well,
yeah, why don't you just have her and Andrade become a team and go against Rusev? Oh, wait, they tried that on Collision. It didn't work.
yeah, I wouldn't do that. Once was enough. We'll keep an eye on all those things. Also, the wrestling world's eyes will be on AEW Sunday. Dynasty is here. It's kind of, again, guys knows I've been out and about, so this kind of snuck up on me. But here is the card. Looks like we have 9 matches. That's kicking off the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. So we got a couple of those matches. Mercedes Moné, Julia Hart, Will Ospreay, and Kevin Knight, new signing. I believe he came from New Japan.
Yep.
Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole for the TNT Championship. Jericho and Bandito, a title versus mask match for the Ring of Honor Championship. 6-man or trios, Death Riders, Claudio Pack and Wheeler versus Rated FTR. Omega, Ricochet, and Speedball Mike Bailey, triple threat for the International Championship. Tony Storm and Megan Bayne for the Women's World Championship. And Mox versus Swerve. Jay, what's piquing your interest on this card?
Tony Storm, Megan Bayne. The stuff that's been happening has just been so good.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Storm and her fucking double entendres and the way she, oh God, she's hilarious. She's the best.
Yeah.
She's actually the main reason I'm going to WrestleCon was to get her black and white figure signed because I couldn't do it she didn't do a signing on the cruise. She just did the photo op.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm all in on Tony Storm and Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne just looks like a fucking like Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah.
And I love it because I had no idea of anything about Megan Bayne except that Sean Ross Sapp was a big supporter of her when she was on the Indies. I had no idea of anything about her. Because like I hear Megan Bayne and I just think like Rosemary. Like a scary character with Megan Bayne.
Yeah.
Not scary at all. She's fucking gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
It is fucking awesome. So
yeah, she's impressive. A lot of power. A lot of power that I've seen in the couple of matches. And yeah, I started following her when I'd see her on GCW cards. And yeah, she's beautiful. And apparently she's dating Joey Janela, who looks like, homeless Joe down the road. I'm like, God bless you, Joey Janela. How did you pull that off? Right.
well, you can ask our homeless Joe about how Joey Janela got Megan Bayne.
No, I'm just playing.
His name's Joe. He's got game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That must have been it. Joe, what's anything stand out here with you for this one?
Well, I'll piggyback off Jason that Tony Storm's really the only reason to watch AEW lately. It's she's consistent, but match wise, besides that, I gotta say Omega Ricochet Speedball.
That'd be pretty wild.
I mean, that match is gonna be awesome. Yeah.
Awesome enough to buy the pay-per-view, Joe?
No, because in my opinion, it's a 2.5 match card.
Yeah.
And like, would I really drop the money to see Jericho versus Bandito?
That'll be a fun one. It'll be a fun one though.
It'll be a fun one, but it's not worth $50 or $80 or whatever, how much they charge.
I don't know. I'll be driving back from the sanitation convention, so I won't get to see any of it.
I'll try to get it on. We'll see how my Sunday evening looks like.
Yeah.
But I told you guys last time with whatever that last show might have been Revolution, I can't think, but I was just like, God, that's just the pacing isn't for me. It's after midnight on a Sunday. This is still going on, so there's still going to be great stuff about it. They always deliver, but it's just like, ooh, this just isn't quite. I'm getting more used to the Saturday stuff, maybe even in the afternoon, those sort of things. And I am wondering if Swerve will take it because we all agree the Mox Def Rider thing just hasn't been the best. And they're
wins.
So, and that's the thing. It's like they have their big all in show coming up in July in Dallas in the stadium. So like, are they just gonna keep Mox with the title until then to have like the big moment? But I don't know. Swerve still is fantastic, so I'd be happy with the title change here, but I don't know if I'm betting on it. Definitely keeping an eye on that. All right, I know we did not do a spot of the week last week. It's quite all right. Feelings weren't hurt. Tears were not shed. Does anybody have a spot of the week for this week? Or if you have one from last week that you didn't even think to share? I got one. I'll start it off. I miss doing it. I love my spots of the week.
You're the one.
I'm the one.
Oh, wow.
I'm building it. We're building. This was just like a little thing, but it was in the Braun, Penta, Finn, Dom tag match on Monday's Raw, where Braun pretty easily and legitimately suplexed both guys at the same time. I mean, it was not that difficult. He just kind of paused for a moment and then just said, I'm going to flip you both over. And he did. And that was just a reminder of how cool of a talent Braun Breaker is. So that one stood out to me. If I had to go back 2 weeks, Jimmy Uso's slap. Jimmy Uso's slap on Gunther was great. Remember that backstage, guys?
Oh, the slap was intense.
Yeah, that was like a gunshot. So that would have been my 2 week nominee for spot of the week.
And then 3 weeks ago
at WrestleMania 18, when Rock kicked out of the leg drop. No, just kidding.
No, the spot of the week originated WrestleMania 25 when Undertaker gave the tombstone to Shawn and he kicked out.
That's when I had the inspiration for spot of the week. I was holding on to it for 15 plus years.
Well, I mean, it took us 7 years from the inception to do a wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
Actually do it, so whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes these ideas need to take time. They need to marinate.
All right, buy your spot of the week merchandise on whatamaneuver.net.
We don't have spot of the week merchandise yet.
All right. We're working on it. We're not working on it, but we'll see.
We're not working on it.
All right. Anybody else have one?
I do not.
I don't remember. I'm sorry, man.
That's all right. That's all right. We had lots to cover, lots to talk about. Great fun week. God damn, it was good to be back, guys. Thank you so much for letting me do this. And maybe the four of us will be back all next week. In theory.
I mean, the algorithm will definitely be back because I make things happen.
Well, we'll keep working on that nickname. It's growing on me already a little bit. It needs something more catchy, but there's the algorithm. 4 syllables. Algorithm.
I didn't say it like that. I said the algorithm.
I know. I'm just saying.
You can't. Algorithm. No,
it doesn't go off the tongue easy. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yes,
it's not
it
like
does.
The blueprint.
Do you speak English?
not well. Clearly,
apparently not.
In 4 years, and the 20 odd years you've known me, I pull off what I pull off, man. It is what it is. All right. On that note, then, youtube.com/thatwrestlingpodcast, at thatwrestlepod for social media, and whatamaneuver.net for your merchandise needs. For Brian, Joe, and Jason, and maybe Kevin next week. We'll
It's
talk
the
to you when we
algorithm.
talk to you.
Call me the algorithm.
You say
Do
it,
it.
not
No.
me.
Say it.
We're out of
Say my
time.
name.
We'll
Say
talk
my
to you
name.
6:05 Eastern. No. All right. Enjoy wrestling. Have a good week.
Thanks for listening. Follow That WrestlePod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
1, 2, 3. That's it.